stay consistent as an entrepreneur? So, what is consistency? According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, consistency is agreement or harmony of parts, firmness, density, or persistency. It means sticking to one way of thinking or acting. So, why is consistency critical to your business growth? Well, consistency in business is critical because it builds trust with your customers by ensuring a reliable and predictable experience. And that's important, right? Because think about an experience that you have when you go to a particular business, right? And you want reliable service, you want it to be predictable. You want to, if you go to buy a smoothie in the morning and say you buy a strawberry smoothie, right? And you buy it every day, but you notice that some days it tastes like strawberries and some days it tastes like bananas. But then when you go to the smoothie shop down the block and you order a strawberry smoothie, it always tastes like strawberries. Maybe you taste a hint of banana, but it's not like the other shop where you don't know if you're going to get a strawberry or a banana smoothie when you order strawberry, right? So when you are enhancing brand recognition, you want your brand to be consistent. If I'm buying a strawberry smoothie, I want that strawberry smoothie to taste the same every day. Fostering customer loyalty, right? And ultimately contributing to a positive reputation and long term growth by delivering a consistent quality of products, services, and customer interactions across all platforms. Okay? Because if shop A, you don't know what you're going to get, but shop B, you know you're going to get something that you enjoy drinking, right? You're going to get the strawberries in the strawberry smoothie. You're not going to get a watered down version of a strawberry smoothie. You're probably not going to go to the shop that has the watered down version. You're going to go to the shop where it's tasty, it's consistent, and you are going to want to continue to give that company your business. And so that business will grow because they are consistent. So, what are the common struggles entrepreneurs face when trying to stay consistent? Entrepreneurs often struggle with staying consistent due to challenges like poor time management, right? If you're doing everything at different times, you have poor time management. Fluctuating motivation levels, right? Sometimes you feel good about doing it and sometimes you don't. So today you'll do it, tomorrow you won't because you're stuck in your feelings. Difficulty balancing multiple priorities. Well, what should I do first? Let me do this because I like doing that. But that may not be something that is going to manage your cash flow, right? So sometimes we have managing cash flow inconsistencies because we want to do things that we like, but we won't do the thing that is going to create the cash flow that we need. Adapting to market changes, dealing with setbacks or self doubt. I remember when I first started my business and I was selling digital products, and I was wondering what happened. Everything stopped all of a sudden. And then I realized that my bank saw this income coming in and they were like, well, what is this? And they thought that it was fraudulent activity or my account. So they stopped all activity. And it took me a couple of weeks to realize that they never sent me a letter or an email. And then when I finally called, and okay, my fault, I wasn't looking at my actual accounts on that particular bank, I realized that I had to give them a call and tell them that what's going on. Like this is good. This is me. Yes, take the money. And so it set me back because now it's weeks and the e-commerce company that I was working with was stopping all income coming in. So that set me back for quite a time. So, you know, you have to be aware of these things, especially when it comes to finances. I mean, I think you should check your finances every single day. And that's what I've been doing since this happened, because I realized that any little thing could set you back. It may not be you necessarily, but if you don't do the right thing on your end, like checking your accounts, and then the bank decides that they're going to do what they want to do on their end, and nobody's communicating with each other, and you don't know what they're doing and they don't know what's happening with you, then you will have setbacks. And the constant pressure to deliver results, especially when you're a new entrepreneur, you just want to put stuff out, you just want to keep going and keep going, right? And all of that can lead to inconsistent work habits and inconsistent productivity. So let's talk about, how do you build a strong foundation? And right, step number one is about building a strong foundation by setting realistic and actionable goals. And we talk about SMART goals all the time, which is a good place to start. And then creating a sustainable schedule. A lot of times we just want to do everything, right? And we don't realize that we can't do everything. We need to schedule some stuff. Step number two, developing productivity habits. Using time blocking techniques is a good way to develop productivity habits, right? By focusing on one thing at a time for a certain time frame. So, for instance, I'm creating this video right now. So I have to block out a certain amount of time to create this video. I can't do anything else while I'm creating this video. So I have to focus on this one thing, and blocking out a time frame to do it makes sense, right? So that way, you're not being interrupted, because you're doing it at a time where there's not supposed to be any interruptions. Okay. And when you're developing your productivity habits, it's a good idea to think about how to stay accountable and track your progress. Like I said, with the finance and with the banking, you need to always be on top of that. I had to learn the hard way with that setback of my bank thinking I'm having fraudulent activities, you know? And what's the funny thing about it is that I ordered something that was like $400 and then I canceled it. But they kept that on it. They didn't question the $400 purchase. They're questioning these little, things that I'm getting here and there. So that's really interesting. So that's why it's important to stay accountable and track your progress, because yes, the banks are supposed to do it, but you need to know what you're doing and what the bank is doing as well. Step number three. So, how do you avoid burnout? Okay. Balance is the key. When you work hard, you also need to rest. Okay. You have to create that balance. And I tell you how important balance is all the time. Okay. My aunt is balance. We are supposed to be in balance. So if you're working hard, you need to be able to rest. Or they say work hard and play hard, but you need to balance whatever you're doing, you need to balance it out, right? And you balance it out by learning the signs of burnout and how to prevent it. And I believe I did a video on burnout, or I do have something about burnout. So go check it out and learn about the different signs of burnout. And step number four, learn how to stay flexible and adaptable. Knowing when to adjust your approach versus when to push through. So, how do we do that? The key to knowing when to adjust your approach or push through is recognizing when to stick to your plan and when to pivot, right? So let's look at the differences. When to adjust your approach. You're not seeing progress despite your repeated efforts. So if you're not seeing progress like me, I'm wondering, okay, I'm making money and then all of a sudden the money stopped. You're not seeing progress, right? The market has changed. So maybe it's time for you to adjust something because of the market. It may not even be your product. It just means that the market has changed. So you got to be able to be flexible. Um, and when burnout is affecting your performance, some people want to sit and they want to work 12 plus hours and then they get burnt out. And then when it's time to really perform, your performance is weak because you've overworked yourself. And when customer feedback suggests a different direction, right? Customers usually tell you what they want. And so you have to maybe pivot so that you can give the customer what they're asking for. Now, when do we push through? Well, you push through challenges that are temporary, right? Those temporary roadblocks. My banking was temporary. I was able to reach out to the bank and say, no, this company is good. I mean, you've been accepting the money. I don't understand why you're not accepting it now. But that was a temporary thing. I was able to change it, but it did set me back for a couple of weeks. And you haven't given your strategy enough time to work. Sometimes we throw in the towel before we even see if our strategy is working. And then you may be experiencing imposter syndrome, right? Which is not really an issue. And then success requires repetition and mastery. So you don't want to give up. You want to keep doing what you're doing and master it before you throw in that towel. So let's recap. Adjust when something truly isn't working. Push through when success requires consistency, patience, and mastery. And smart entrepreneurs know how to balance both. So keep growing, learning, and refining your approach. And let me give you one more word of encouragement. Show up. Well, that's 2 words. Show up even when you don't feel like it. Like, subscribe, and share some of the ways you stay consistent. Until next time, peace and love.